Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Australian Tabletop Wargaming Network. As per usual, I'm Scotty D, and welcome in to another tournament preview for a tournament that we're going to be covering as the first event of 2024 here on the ATWN Exterminatus 8 Rise of the Noodle. And we have got, well, the Noodle himself, I can say that, but we've got Dom, the main guy behind Exterminatus. How you going, mate?
Good, Scotty. Thanks for, again, having me on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries at all. No worries at all. So if you haven't joined us for a tournament preview before, what we do for these is we grab the TO. You might have myself or another network member joining in as well, where we talk a bit about the tournament format. We get a bit of history behind the events. We get to know the organizers as well in terms of what they play for 40k. We talk about the meta, some of the lists that are in attendance, and any other aspects of the event that they've got going on, which Exterminatus is one of them. Now, this is happening live on the ATWN Twitch channel, probably about, 2 weeks before the event, would you say, Dom? I think it's in 2 weeks.
What the day is today?
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks.
It's Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. And then we're also going to be having this up on YouTube. So if you're enjoying it on YouTube after the fact, you can definitely catch the live coverage over on the ATWN Twitch channel on the first weekend of January, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So first off, Dom, I know some people in chat may have seen the previous Exterminatus previews or have heard from yourself, but I wanted you, for the benefit of everyone, give a bit of an intro about yourself, a bit of background, how long you've been in hobby, what armies you play, etc., just so people can get to know you a bit.
Yeah, well, good day, everyone, and hello again, if you've seen one before. So I'm Dom, been in the hobby since early 4th edition, since I was a little fat kid, and yeah, it's just been, like, I'll probably say, a very big part of my life ever since then. As everyone does, I gave it a break for a couple years, but came back strong about 2019, and my usual sort of crowd is the Wagga group, because I'm from a small town called Ganmain out that way, and I just wanted, Exterminatus essentially grew from me wanting to run little events for my mates in Wagga Wagga, because before then I really liked going through to back in those days, like the Can Cons and Winter Cons and the big 40k tournaments then. And from then, when was that? 2020, I think. From then, it's just grown. The community's gotten bigger and better, until we're at what we're at today. So this is because we started off at Exterminatus 0 technically. So this will be Exterminatus 8, which will be our 9th Exterminatus. And we've, for the first time, hit the GT status. So we're at 76 players currently. We had one drop, but then come back in. So we're at 76 players. And we're at the RSL club this year as well. So they've been sensational with the organisation, and a big part of Exterminatus has been us as mates getting together, doing a hobby that we love, and raising money for a good cause as well. So previously we've raised money for the rural bushfire appeal. Then we went on to Murrumbidgee Men's Group in Wagga Wagga. And now we're raising funds for Defence Men's Shed Wagga Wagga. So once again, this event's going to be raising money for them, and they just do absolutely sensational work in the community. For first responders, veterans, current servicemen as well, and their friends and family who might be affected as well.
Yeah, awesome. I think once I covered the first Exterminatus a while ago, there was just something about it. There was just something about it for me that was just such a great atmosphere of a tournament, and that's why I've loved covering it myself. when I've been able to, and the guys are just so welcoming, and you guys, not just yourself, Dom, but your entire team that you've got. And for those who are watching to the stream, we do have the cover image you've done with all the lads. So you've got going from left to right, bottom to top. You've got Adrian, Todd, Keith, Andrew, yourself, trying to
young Isaac up the back.
Isaac, yeah, you got Isaac, and then you've also got
Richard as well.
Yeah. So you've got a great team.
Yeah, as you know, Scotty. So Exterminatus is always like, even though we're ITC tournament, come get your points, yada yada. It's always going to be the community first and foremost. So what we do is we cater for all aspects of the hobby. So, of course, you got your tournament, you got your 5 games, try and get as many battle points, try and get as much wins. But then we also put a lot of time and effort. Our biggest one is into the sports award, which we encourage all the way through. And then we've also got the player's choice. So the players go around, have a look at their favorite armies, see what they like. It doesn't necessarily need to be the best painted. And then we have that award. Then we got the painting as well, which me and the other TOs, which will be Adrian and Richard this time, will go around, do the paint judging. We got the rubric for it, which is good to have this year. And then we've also we get the lads Frosty at Defence Men's Shed to go around, see all the players. They give out an award. Then we've also got the TO award, which will be the Cards and Combat award this year.
Yep.
So there's a lot to get your hands on.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, that's also the one thing I've loved is that when you guys have been doing your events, you don't just make it about coming first or winning the event. You spread it around almost to equivalent value across the board, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, and just
our biggest prize will always be sportsmanship.
100%, which is something that one I was going to mention as well, but two is something you don't see a lot of tournaments also doing. So I just want to throw out a bit of a shout out to everyone in chat. We've got Dark Justice, who I believe is playing in the tournament. We've got Sinner, Darren, who is also playing, Maka, welcome in. Same with Marcus Romus, and Foolish Monk, great to see you as well. Great to have you all joining us for this one. So why don't we talk a bit more about some of the charity fundraising efforts that you guys are doing for this one? What is being raffled off? And if people want to grab tickets, if they're watching and they're not at the event and they'd want to support the efforts that you guys are doing from maybe interstate or, I'm thinking more nationally. Unfortunately, if you are international, we maybe won't be able to get that to work out. But if you're within Australia, we could probably work something out there. How can people get involved and support such a great cause?
Yeah, so we're raffling off for the Defence Men's Shed this year, and it's about 80 to 90% completed, with the grand reveal being on Boxing Day on the Exterminatus and Wagga Wargame Society pages, is a fully painted Chaos Knight army. So exclusive here on Scotty's channel first. It'll include a Chaos Knight Rampager, Chaos Knight Despoiler, and 8 War Dogs.
Ooh.
So I think it's 4 Brigands, 2 Huntsmen, and 2 Carnivores.
Cool.
Fully painted army. I think that comes in to like 2,200, so you can interchange a War Dog. And for second and third place, we'll have the Space Marine Battle Force up for grabs, the Christmas box. Kindly donated by Cards and Combat in Wagga Wagga. So last time we didn't have a store open in Wagga Wagga, and now we got the new one, Cards and Combat, and they're sponsoring us this year, run by Jess and her brother Josh. And they're doing really well in the community.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Big shout out to them to being our sponsors this year. They've donated the Space Marine Christmas box, and we've also got the Catachan limited edition Colonel as well.
That model has been a few years old now.
Yeah, it is, but you're still it's almost a meme at this point. You still see him coming up on Warhammer Buy Swap Sell Australia for someone selling him for 350 or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, that model was very highly sought after. So, yeah, if you haven't got your hands on one and you're a guard player and you want the chance to, this might be potentially the cheapest way you're able to get your hands on it.
Get them tickets. So, as usual, it'll be $10 a ticket for us with all donation, and you go on the draw to win all the prizes. And all donations from that go straight to Defence Men Shed Wagga. So
Yeah, nice.
The way that you could go about it is tickets will, when I make my post on the Wagga Wargamers Society page on Facebook and also the Exterminatus page. So all you got to do is Facebook search them, become a member. And if you wouldn't mind, Scotty, we'll put it on the Australialis network as well.
Yeah, sure thing. We can definitely
get the
spread
word
the word
out
as well.
And all you got to do is reach out and get in contact with me. I'll write up your tickets. We can go from there. I'll send you a photo for the proofs, and so that'll be available on Boxing Day.
Yep.
And it'll be drawn at approximately 4:30 on Sunday the 7th, after the tournament wrap up.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. So yeah, it's always a great way to end, because I know we do the prizes, then we do the raffle at the end as well. Or generally that's, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Raffle at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do it before the prizes because we get Frosty to have a talk about what they do, what they're all about, let the lads know what they're supporting with their buying their raffle tickets and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I got my memory around the wrong way then. Yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. Definitely a cause to support, something that, often people don't necessarily talk about is men's mental health and helping men in the community. And this time you guys are raising money for the Defence men's group. So that's awesome to spread it around as well. So with that, lots of prizes up for grabs for the raffle, which is great. I might throw one your way as well, actually, from us here at the ATWN. I might chat to you afterwards, and that's a little bit of a teaser for everyone at home. So let's jump into a bit of the format about the tournament, how many players we got in attendance. We're going to jump into discussing the meta and such as well, but we're going to start off first of all by looking at the mission pack. The players pack and the mission pack. We're gonna look at the missions as well and discuss the terrain and such. So we'll start off with the players pack. Generally, we like to go through these just so we can give some context to the event, go through it from the TO's perspective and stuff as well for those who are jumping in for the first time, seeing a tournament preview done by us. So 100-player cap. You've already mentioned you got to 76 players, which is awesome.
Yep.
And to go from do you remember what the attendance was for the mid-year?
Yeah, so, excuse me, the last two have been 52.
Oh.
So we were up to about 70-odd at the previous event, but because of the change from 9th and 10th edition, we kept it at 9th. A lot of people wanted to play 10th. Understandable.
Yeah.
But, once again, that community aspect, a lot of my guys would have been, I think it was a week out from the event that 10th dropped. And I decided to keep it at 9th because, a lot of the more casual guys would have been like,
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. So 100 players is and then going from 52 to 76. That's a 24-player jump. That's 12 tables.
Yeah, look, very happy. Like I said, our first GT level event as well, and merry old Wagga Wagga, because I think Major's 58.
Major's 58, generally 6 or more rounds.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Yeah.
I believe. It could be 5 minimum, but from memory it's 58 with 6 rounds. So
cool. But going to that 76 is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
And then round times. So start time for everyone that is in attendance is going to be 8:30 in the morning both days. Great start time. It's not too early, not too late. as well, and then 3-hour rounds.
Yes. So
Mm.
once again, like a lot of our community members and a lot of we've got I think 5 or 6 new players coming along. It's for them as well, and as a like full-on tournament player, who wouldn't want like an extra like half hour, 15 minutes on top of what you usually get as well.
Yeah.
So once again, it's good for both parties, and it gives those newer players that bit of extra time to, like, what's the strength of a bolt gun? Look at it up at my data sheet. So
yeah,
and even like I do that all the time. Like, actually, no, I lie. I don't do that. I just forget the rule and kick myself after the game. So.
We all do that. We all do that at times. But yeah, 3-hour rounds, very generous. It's probably the cap of what you see at events. You don't really see anything higher than that. I mean, unless you're Games Workshop doing day 1 of the Warhammer World Champs and giving everyone 4-hour rounds because of jet lag.
Yeah.
And then going back to 3-hour rounds the following day, which then means you've only got a day to recover from jet lag. But that's another story entirely. 3-hour rounds, awesome. So you've got some clauses in here on sportsmanship that we'll, just have a brief look at as well. You're utilizing the ITC code of conduct, which is awesome. Using the card system, which is great. But also you've got a few other stipulations in place. Do you want to just kind of run through those just so people who might not know what those extra things are? Now, they're all in the players pack, so you go into the tournament, make sure you read the damn players pack first off.
Well, you sort of put me on the spot. I don't even know what clauses you're talking about.
So just
it's been
more
84 years.
Just more like the the warnings for unsportsmanlike conduct and
yeah. Okay, so the little bits I've added in. Yeah.
Yes.
So like to talked about previously, like sportsmanship is a really big thing for me. Being I love my sport as a younger Noodle, and being part of the infantry as well for most of my adult life. Teamwork makes the dream work. There's one for you all. So it's a really big part of who I am, I guess, and I really hate when people abuse it. I really do. So look, me and the TO team, we're not going to come down on you like a ton of bricks if you like make a misplay. Like, perfect games of 40k don't happen.
Yes.
Everyone forgets something. But the biggest thing for me is intent. So last year we had a bit of an incident, and luckily we had the physical proofs for that incident as well. And it really got under my skin. That something like that could happen at my own event. So
yeah.
For those players that are watching, I highly encourage you, and this will be in the TO speech beforehand, if you suspect something is happening during the game, come and grab us straight away. You're not going to get in trouble. It's not bad sportsmanship, you being suspicious or just wanting to clarify something. Okay, but it is much easier to deal with it when it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't pick up on something until after the tournament, you're like, hey, unless you got the physical evidence, there's only so much you can do about it.
Yeah.
So I've added in those extra bits just so, I want everyone to come down, no matter if you're one at the top of the ITC or no matter if you're just there to put your head in the ring for painting. I want everyone to just come down, have a good time with their games, meet new people. Like I've met a lot of my mates now through just going to tournaments and playing 40k.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is.
And I want to bring that to Exterminatus.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I tell you, you've done it. 100% you've done it, which is awesome to see, man. Like, really well done to yourself and your team for emphasizing that as well. So, just going to one thing that people might not be aware of, being an RSL, there are some dress regulations. So let's just briefly walk through this so people know what to expect and don't rock up in things that they probably shouldn't be wearing.
Yeah. So it's just simple stuff, guys. It's just anything for a normal club. Okay. big reason why I put that in there was because I think it was 2 years ago now. Old mate Spanish dude, like, and I'm not saying in any capacity that someone is going to rock up with one, but just like old mate Spanish dude rocking up with a neo-Nazi shirt on, you know. We're doing that to save your own life because where a lot of the lads that are coming, a lot of ex-servicemen, and I don't think they're going to be as nice as the Spanish in that regard if you rock up with something like that.
Yes.
But no, I've already had people asking me about it. So yeah, we got the group butt stuff coming from Canberra. They asked if they're allowed to wear their shirts. I'm like, look, guys, that should be fine as long as you don't have a picture of someone actually doing butt stuff. Should be all sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for everyone else, just shirts, shorts, like probably be allowed to get away with singlets in the actual playing area, but have a shirt on you because it's downstairs, it's out of the way. Like, but if you're going into the rest of the club, shorts, shirt, just yeah.
Yep.
No silly buggers, guys. Just use your brain. You all have one.
Yeah, just casual clothing as you'd wear out to going shopping at your local shopping center kind of thing, unless that is wearing singlets and thongs for you. So just that's kind of the level of expectation is what I'm putting it.
Yeah.
To.
So essentially, yeah, that's it. Like no board shorts, no singlets, no thongs, no birthday suits.
Yes. You got all the things. The one thing I'll call out, and I love this, a computer printed copy of your list, unless you have the capacity to have it have a charger for your phone to be able to consistently show people your list from your phone on BCP.
Yeah, so just to always have the capacity, like in this day and age with technology, like we should be able to just, look it up, go through players list, but it's your responsibility to make sure that your opponent can actually see your list and can see what you are playing.
Yep, 100%. Then the rules cutoff was officially last Sunday, which does mean that both the new Necron and the new AdMech codexes are going to be played at this tournament. I think it's one of the first in Australia that's allowing them in terms of the being at the GT level.
Oh yeah. Once again, Exterminatus breaking boundaries.
Yeah.
Except for not playing 10th when we had the chance. Yeah, so I had, I think, every Necron player ask me. Alex the Greek with his AdMech, he didn't mention it. Cool, calm, and collected. Just knew it was happening.
Yep.
But yeah, all the Necron, look, in this day and age of technology, even though the Pacific didn't have access to the codexes, they still had access to the codexes. They all knew what they wanted to play, and it was just the day before we got access to it, they were able to officially look at the codex, have a look at but they all had their lists in, so no dramas on that one whatsoever.
Yep.
And one of my armies is Necrons as well. And I simple to use, simple to understand. Maybe I'm just simple, but I didn't have too much dramas with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool. So then the other one, and this is pretty common at the moment, utilizing the WTC FAQ for rulings and such.
Yeah, so that's, we've added that in there like the other years, like if we need it, like if it comes down to the nitty gritty. We haven't had to yet, and I'm hoping that because of the tone of this tournament as well, that we won't need to, but it's a resource there if we need it.
Yeah. And now we get into some of the prizes. Now, we did already preview some of these in terms of saying sports would be the one of the higher ones. But you've got best painting, which is up for grabs. And you've also got a stipulation there that any army that has that is not completed or has unfinished models receives an automatic score of 0. And this also translates into not getting the 10 points per round for battle ready.
Correct. So me and my TO team, we'll do it two separate things. So first, at the start of round 1, when everyone's got their armies on the table, we'll head around. Everyone's had plenty of warning. Everyone knows what to expect at this stage for battle ready. excuse me, in one of my posts, if you didn't know if you were going to get battle ready, I asked that you please submit. Okay, so no excuses now, and we'll go around, see everyone. I'm hoping that everyone that knows they're getting battle ready will get battle ready, and everyone that doesn't won't. So we'll do that first round, and then during the tournament, particularly during player's choice, because it's easy for us to go around and look at all the set up armies and everything, we'll be doing the painting award.
Yeah.
So essentially how we do that, we get together, go around, pick our top 10 best armies, me, Richard and Adrian, that'll be. And generally we get 6, 7, 8 that will be the same. So we cross-reference them off our list. And then from that 6, 7, and 8, we go through our marking rubric, which is a total score out of 150, I believe. And it covers things like, is there shading? How, like, obviously in better words, but how good is the 3-color minimum? Yada, yada. Basing. And then if we've got really close ones, it then goes into the more advanced stuff. So OSL, how good is that OSL? Yep. Weathering, how many different layers of weathering is there? So we put a lot of time and effort into the painting, and that's because the people that are going for the award, they put a lot of time and effort into their armies.
Yeah.
So we feel like we could definitely do it for them because they've put in that effort to get their armies up to that standard. So, yeah.
For sure. And to just note it, we did have it on the schedule at the start of the pack, but players' choices during lunch on day 1. So it's after your first game. So if you are playing, just set up your army after round 1 if you want to be looked at, and well, make sure you do it even if you don't, just so then the TOs
100%.
Things
like we've had like the last couple of Exterminatuses, we've had armies that, not being a smart ass, but like that you wouldn't have put up there to win. But player's choice, it's that very subjective part. Like for me, I wouldn't go around looking at like, oh, who's done the best techniques or anything. If someone had done an army that was like straight out of the lore, that's the army I'd beeline it for. Like if someone had done, for an example, a whole Inquisition army like based around Eisenhorn and his cronies, or if someone had done a whole Tanith person only army, like that would be getting my vote, no ifs, buts, or maybes. So you never know your luck. Set up your army, and if anything, I really enjoy going around having a look at them all.
Yeah, 100%, as do I. It's always good to see. So then, we've already touched on best sports, but the way best sports will work is you get to pick your top 3 opponents across the weekend. So
top 3 again, and just simple, 3, 2, 1. We get players to put their names up the top, and that way there's none of this, and that's like cross-referenced against their opponents, so there's none of this like voting for your mates or anything like that. And I want, like for everyone who's playing in the tournament, I want you to actually really have a think about who you had the most fun against, why you had the most fun against them, and just give me that 3, 2, 1.
Yep, awesome. Obviously, we've also got the best general, so the player who wins the tournament. Last place was the coveted wooden spoon.
Yes.
As it always is. The Ronin Award. So this is for the player that is an exemplar of the hobby at the TO's discretion.
Yes, so that's the new Cards in Combat Award, because they'll be sponsoring us this time.
Yep.
And yeah, so that one's a lot like the, so that's our TO award, essentially. So it's someone who's conducted themselves well over the whole weekend, but hasn't been rewarded for it. So someone who's played really well, no issues, couple wins on the board, someone who's really given their painting a really good crack as well, but maybe just don't, it's not their biggest skill point, so to speak. And someone that scored really well in sportsmanship as well. So we look at all that, and then we give, and like we talk about it as TOs as well, and we decide on someone that way for that award.
Awesome. Then you got the Men's Shed Award, so the best rep from the Riverina and the surrounding areas. So like the I think Andrew for Capital Clash did this as the local legend or something along those that kind of line. So that works as well.
Yep. So we'll have a little something for the travellers and the local lads as well, because that was one of our one bit of feedback that we got from the other events as well, is that we should have something like for the locals and we should have something for the travellers. So all up for grabs. And once again, that'll be along the same vein as the TO award. So someone has conducted themselves well across all aspects.
Yeah. Then we got, obviously, as you just mentioned, the Travelling Titan. So someone who's travelled interstate, whether it be travelling up from Melbourne, like Darren is, or someone from New South Wales or the ACT.
Darren's going to need to impress if he wants that award, I tell you what.
Then we've got the Noodle award so at the TO's discretion that deserve recognition for overall performance attitude. We already kind of touched on that one. And funnily enough, I'm going to call Palitech, which is Mr. Inglezos, Alex the Greek. He's already dropped. I'll give out Artawalk vouchers like candy to get the Noodle.
Yeah, so the Noodle awards, once again, are going to be a little bit different this year, so shows how much I actually have to update the players pack, but it's a nice surprise for everyone, including probably my TO team. So this year, it's going to go back to what I was doing when we're only down to like the 20-player mark at Exterminatus. So what me and the TO team are going to do is we're going to travel around each round. So there's going to be 6 awards total, because we're going to give one pre. And they're going to be fun awards. So I'll announce it at the end for each one. But for example, someone's Chaos Knight blew up and killed their last 3 War Dogs. That's a Noodle award. Okay. Someone's complaining about their dice rolls all game, show me, and then they roll 666s. That's a Noodle award. So it's just stuff that once again encourages the fun sort of aspect of the hobby.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then Darren's just throwing back to my game with him by saying something exploding, dealing 20 plus mortal wounds, you say. Referencing his Norn.
That's a Noodle award.
Referencing a Norn blowing up in his front lines in my game with him that's on the YouTube channel for a Wargame highlight. And blowing up in his front lines turn 1. That's rough. Then you've also got the Santo Award, which is Lucky Door prizes as well.
Yeah. So we'll have a giveaway for the just random raffle ticket. That'll be a part of the people that, there is 76 tickets total, and you've got a chance to take home something.
Yeah. Cool. We've already kind of covered in terms of like models and stuff, but the other thing I do want to call out is just the 3D printing rules that you've got in effect. So generally aiming for no more than 50% of a player's army total points cost as 3D printed commercial models, and 3D printed parts are, I believe, okay. But if you want to explain a bit more, Dom, feel free.
Yeah, so for those of you that know me, they know that I'm a sort of, when it comes to the 3D printing side of things, I'm a don't take the mickey sort of guy. So don't rock up with like Rohirrim warriors that you've 3D printed for free of something, and this is my, Primaris intercessor. So we get people that are 3D printing to send their models in, their stand-in models, and 99% of the time it's fine. Okay, because a lot of people get that. Who's that? Polytech.
That's Alex Greek. He's just asking, 3D printed flight stands okay? I'll happily message you.
This is bullshit. No, that's stands and that are totally fine. Like my problem will be is if you're using like a $5 turtle model that you got from the aquarium, or some sort of silly thing that you 3D printed that's not the right size, not the right dimensions, doesn't have the right guns on it on top of that stand. Yeah, that would be my issue. Okay. So things like that are fine. If you're using conversion bits, that's fine. And once again, everyone, well, hopefully everyone, sent it in, and I don't think I've turned one away. And usually, like most of the ones that I've received is people just wanting to put their own spin on things as well. Like there was a pretty hectic looking Mutolith Warp Beast with a massive flower on the back. And you know, the compromise for that is like, because the Mutolith is still pretty big with its claw in the air. Compromise for that is you just can't draw a line of sight from the top of the flower. Done. Like I said, it's like, I'm not doing it because I hate 3D printing. This is bullshit. But same time, I like everyone knowing what they're playing against. No surprises. I do like some actual 40k with my 40k. And yeah, like, hasn't been a problem so far. So all good.
So we'll just kind of work our way through the rest so we can get to the mission pack, talk about terrain and stuff as well. You've got a couple of chest clocks available for players if they want to use it, and you just speak with one of the TOs if you'd like to use one. I believe we might also have one for the stream table. Might.
Yes.
Being the operative word.
Do you have one?
I might. Yeah, I've got to double check. So I might have one.
If
so
not,
there's
we'll
that
hook
as
you
well.
up.
Yeah, cool. So if you're playing on stream, generally in the later rounds, generally from round 3 onwards, expect to play on clock, effectively. Palitex just said he's got one for me, so thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
So
and you've got a slow play table there as well.
Yeah, so fingers crossed we don't need to use it. But once again, these are all things in case we need it. So if you have an opponent that asks for a chest clock, you will be using a chest clock. Thing is, for those people, if you're listening, that haven't used a chest clock before, if you're new to it, it is nothing to be afraid of. Like, it is absolutely fine. And it's actually, like the first time I used it, I loved it because it kept me honest, kept my game tight. I only lost by 30 odd points, so not bad. But and if we deem it, so we're having a look at that slow play, because if someone's slow playing, we know about it. Okay? If it's deemed that you are one of these people and you're not completing turns like you should be, we will give you a chest clock to use, and you will use it, and that way everyone's happy.
It's pretty much, it just helps ensure that everyone gets equal amounts of time. Like
it's a great tool. Like,
100%. And then most important thing is to have fun. We're all in this hobby to have a great time. So we're all here to play. If we win, that's great, but that's not the end, the be all end all of the tournament. So that's it's basically a social contract to have a great weekend and celebrate the hobby at the event and just participate in I would say Exterminatus is probably a very casually competitive atmosphere in general. It's very chill, not full on laid back, but in terms of that, like, we're here to have fun, here to have a good time, but if we can win, we will try to win.
100%. Like, and that's just the nature of these tournaments. Everyone's coming to, well, besides a couple I know, most people are coming to, you play the game to win. But it's just finding that happy medium where, like, winning and losing is not the end of the world. What matters is that you have a great time doing either of those things. Okay.
100%.
And that is both players' responsibility. So if you find yourself becoming a little bit tilted, okay, go out, go for a walk, have a bit of a breath, all right, while your opponent is still in there moving or something. Okay. And like, I've especially, I say this in the TO speech, especially for the bigger tournament people. Like, there probably will be games where you'll get 100 points and your opponents will get 2 bits of nothing. All right. My respect for you doesn't come from how many points you get. My respect for you is how you win. So win with grace, lose with dignity, guys. Okay.
100% agree. Okay. Now, let's
Don't listen to Full Sack, he's a liar.
Full Sack saying Noodle gets salty when he wins.
You know it's opposite for me, Full Sack. I'm happiest when I'm losing. When I'm winning, it's a bunch of bullshit.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the tournament pack for the missions. So the mission pack, I should say. We are you guys are choosing to use the pre-generated missions from the Leviathan GT companion, as well as using the GW layouts.
Ew.
Which I think this is one of the first events that I'm seeing, at least here in Australia, outside of like the Oceanic Championship circuit, championship event back in October, that is actually running it.
Really?
I haven't seen too many others that are running at the moment, but I do know that one of you guys, Andrew, has spent a lot of time cutting up the mats for the actual layouts for the terrain as well.
Yes, so big shout out to Andrew. He's put a lot of effort into it. So for those of you who don't know, the Games Workshop terrain layouts, they have the actual sizes of what it should be as well. So I can show you one now. So yeah. So on each piece of our terrain, we'll have one of these, like just a nice bit of sort of plastic mat on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And as with the GT terrain layout, that's going to be your footprint.
Yep.
And on that, then we're going to have the ruins and everything. So it's going to be nice and simple. So for those of you who don't know, so on the first day, we're running missions that all have the preferred layouts as one of the layouts we're using. So I believe it's layout 1, 3, and 4 that we're using. And each table is going to be 1, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 3, 4 for day 1. Day 2 we'll use 1 and 2.
Yes, I tried to get 3 layouts for the next day, but then we started getting into dangerous territory, like missions like deploy servo skulls, and I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So first day we'll have the 3 layouts across all the terrain, so pretty much 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then we'll have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good thing about our terrain is, once again, Andrew and his wife, they've done a really good job of painting a lot of the tables. So each table looks different, looks dynamic. Actually, everyone in the Exterminatus committee has done a really good job doing all the tables. And it's going to be, for the first time, hopefully, we're not going to need to have like the worst tables down the bottom leading up to the best. Hopefully, for the first time in Exterminatus tournament, we're going to have the same quality across all tables.
Awesome.
And we're going to have the same, all the mats on every table. So theoretically, no one should need to move terrain.
Yep.
And I know everyone, like, you don't have a tournament without someone having an issue with the terrain. Played plenty of games at 10th now. Lost about 80% of them. Never had a problem with the terrain layouts.
Perfect.
And I've used them for the majority of my games.
Yeah. Nice. So to run through the missions for each round, round 1 is search and destroy, so table quarters, with priority targets. So this is the one where you score up to 10 points during your command phase, and at the end of the game, you score a max of 15 at the end. So that's really solid. And then this one's got hidden supplies.
Yes, so that extra objective.
Which means that both players can score a max of 15 points at the end of the game. Which
Getting
is
to have your wits about you.
That's spicy. And also on Search and Destroy means that both table quarters are quite accessible. So means it's going to work quite well. Mission number 2 is Sweeping Engagement, which is Angled Dawn of War, I believe, from memory. We've taken hold and chosen battlefield. So this is the one where it is player-placed objectives on this one instead of them being in place. Taken hold is your traditional score 1, score 2, score 3. And then, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Now, I will mention the rest of the missions are all chilling rain, so keeping that really simple throughout the rest. Mission number 3, so round 3, is Crucible Battle, which is your angled hammer and anvil with Purge the Foe and Chilling Rain. Funnily enough, I played this mission this morning. No joke.
There you go.
I literally...
Was it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a
Sweet.
good mission. I like it. We didn't play with GW layout, but it's a solid mission combo, in my opinion. As well. Then round 4, so first game on day 2, you're looking at Dawn of War with Scorched Earth and Chilling Rain. And I'm going to quote Palitech here, who's saying he's glad you picked Scorched Earth for the Dawn of War mission. The other option was player-placed objectives. So, for the Dawn of War. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that I didn't mean that, but I'm glad it's worked out for the best. So
fair. Very fair.
my subconscious knows what it's doing.
Yes. Then for round 5, you've got Hammer and Anvil with Sights of Power and Chilling Rain. Oh, that is a spicy one for Hammer and Anvil. I like it.
Yeah. Interesting one, I thought, to finish up on. Another reason that I did these missions as well is that it gives one, like you're playing on each deployment zone at least once as well. And, you know, like the guys at the higher end, they'll have ways of, you know, their tactics and strategy worked out to play in each deployment as well. And for the guys that are there, like for more of the good side of things, you know, it's each mission is going to be new, fresh for them, not the same deployments or anything like that.
Yeah, cool. So we've just got a chat from Maidenless in chat. Got no idea what we're saying. So we're just talking about in terms of like the deployment. So the deployment types that you'll be setting up for your games, the primary mission. So the way you'll score those primary mission points and the additional mission rule that you'll have. So Chilling Rain just means there's nothing. There's no additional mission rule from round 3 onwards. So just keeping things a bit simpler there. So yeah, I do like that you've gone with every deployment at least once. With Sights of Power being last, and Palitech just chimed in and going, conveniently brought 5 characters.
Yeah.
So I can go 1 and 4 now.
I've seen your army. But yeah, so good fun all around, and 2 Chilling Rain missions on day 2 as well, because I reckon about 50% of the tournament are going to have pretty sore heads that day as well.
Yes.
So
less
to power the brain on for.
Yeah, 100%. So then just you got an extra note here about battle ready armies, and it's got the old, and I say that old, but it was only 9th edition they included this. The actual painting examples of what battle ready looks like.
Yeah. So I think I've added some additional bits and pieces in there as well.
Yes.
So guys, battle ready is not just, you know, it's not just having black. You've done a red dot on one shoulder and a blue dot on the other shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
We will not give that damn battle ready. Okay. You know it. Don't be that guy. Okay. Yeah. So it's the 3 colors within reason. So one of our lads is smashing out his Imperial Guard army at the moment. His colors are essentially camo on his tanks. So he's got the green and beige on that. He's done the metal, and he's done bits and pieces like lenses, Imperial Eagles. Okay. That's battle ready. So if he had just done the camo without the metal or anything like that, no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So yeah. And then basing as well, you've got to have at least some texture, like whether that's modeling sand or that's texture paste, at least something on there as well.
Yeah, and it's like with Games Workshop these days, it's just so easy to do. Just go down. I'm not sure how much it is now. I think it's $6 where I get it. Go down, get yourself a texture paint on the base done.
Yep, basically. Cool, and then it's also got the notes about the cards for sportsmanship and player's choice as well, which are both your vote for 3 people, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, as we previously discussed.
Yep.
So, that's pretty much covered, but let's get into some fun stuff now, chat. Because we're gonna jump into a bit of the meta, and I am keen to discuss this. So, first off, I do want to thank everyone for sticking with us so far. I hope you have been enjoying the preview. It's been awesome to have you all joining us in chat as well. And I'm also going to pull up my my friends over at StatCheck, because we love the guys at StatCheck here. They do the Lord's work in terms of having this dashboard up to date and everything as well, so we can look at some win rates and just compare them with where the meta's at. So, with the 76 players in attendance, bear that in mind with some of these percentages. They do work out exactly correctly. We've got all the players in there as well. So let's rapid fire through this. We've got, for the Adeptus Astartes super faction, we've got 13 players making up 17.1% of the meta. There are just 8 flat Adeptus Astartes lists. 3 Dark Angels, 1 Black Templar, and 1 Space Wolves. Now, I've got some extra information that Dom has provided me as well when it does come to... I'm just trying to find the right tab. There it is. When it comes to the detachments to actually break this down a little further. So, we have got 2 Space Marine Vanguards, 2 Firestorm Assault Forces, 3 Ironstorm Spearheads. All 3 Dark Angels lists are running First Company Task Force. We've got 1 Anvil Siege Force Space Marines. Then the Black Templars are running Righteous Crusaders. And the Space Wolves are running the Vanguard Spearhead. So a really good spread across all of the different detachments that Marines have available to them now, which is awesome to see. It's not just going down the Ironstorm pathway like you would expect with the current win rates for Marines, even though they are sitting on 46%. If StatCheck will just give it a second to load, it should show me the detachments as well. I believe Ironstorm is going to be the highest one. No, funnily enough, Vanguard is currently the highest at the moment at a 54% win rate, followed by Ironstorm at 51%. So it's good to see that, you know, there is that 1 Vanguard in there as Space Wolves, but there are those 3 Ironstorms as well that are going to be up there. Vanguard Death's Best from Pally. Yeah.
And I want to shout out my boy Roy for using the Anvil Force. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though it's not the greatest, it's, you know, sticking to your guns.
Oh, man. Big player energy, that one. Love it.
So then we are going to look at the Imperium super faction. They've got 18 players total for 23.7% of the meta. So almost a quarter of the players are just Imperium, not including Space Marines. You've got 9 Ash Militarum players, which is really interesting considering Ash Militarum are actually sitting at a 46% win rate at the moment.
And I can't wait for the Yanks to talk about this one again. Every time they're like, what the hell is happening down in Wagga? They have a laugh at our name because I think the last one was the Bog Awakens. Now it's Rise to the Noodle. And now we've got 9 Imperial Guard players. Like, this is why I come to Exterminatus, guys. Sensational stuff.
Yeah. Then 3 Imperial Knight players, 2 Adeptus Custodes, 2 Grey Knights, 1 Adeptus Sororitas, and 1 Adeptus Mechanicus. So really interesting spread from the rest of the Imperium outside of Ash Militarum just being the skew. Which is, I saw that, I was like, huh? Okay, let's see how this goes.
Palitech, my noodles risen.
Oh,
I'm not
Pally.
cheap. I need a $3 beer first.
Then we come to the Chaos Super Faction, which have got 20 players in attendance for 26.3% of the meta. We've got 6 Chaos Demon players spread across all the different Chaos Demon factions in there. 4 Chaos Knights, 3,000 Suns, 3 World Eaters, 2 Chaos Space Marines, and 2 Death Guard. Now, I will note that it's really interesting to see Chaos Space Marines on equal lowest out of the Chaos faction with only 2 players, considering the fact they're at a 59% win rate at the moment as well.
Well, that just goes hand in hand with the 9 Guard, doesn't it? Like, one of the factions that's doing the best at the moment, we got 2 of them.
Yep. Which, I'm just looking at that going, okay, this is Exterminatus. This is what I love about it. It is always different. It's never what you expect to see in terms of the meta. Then we come to the Eldari super faction, which is 5 players in attendance for 6.6% of the meta, with 3 Eldari players, 1 Drakari, and 1 Ynnari. So, Drakari being at the spiciness of 47% win rate now, but we all know that Skari is carrying that over in Canada.
So yeah, that's David Ford, I believe, playing the Drakari.
Lovely gentleman.
And if he's listening, he's great dude, great to play against, know his rules like nothing. But a white Venom with just a little bit of color shift on it is not going to pass it for battle ready this time, son. I need some effort.
Yes.
Adrian will like that one as well.
Yeah.
He's been giving me grief about that for the last couple of months.
So then we have got the Hive Mind super faction, which has got one of the second highest factions in there. They've got 11.8% of the meta, with Tyranids having 8 players and 1 Gene Stealer cult list. Now, to talk a little bit more about the Tyranids, to break them down a bit further, there are 3 Invasion Fleet, 2 Crusher Stampedes, 1 Synaptic Nexus, and 1 Vanguard Onslaught. And so to kind of give you a bit of an idea of the win rates here, Vanguard Onslaught is at a 49% win rate, Synaptic Nexus is at 48, Crusher Stampede's 47, with Invasion Fleet being 46. So they're all kind of clustered around that high 40s in terms of their win rates as well. So, no Unending Swarm and no Assimilation Swarm in attendance either. So...
You just got in the chat, Scotty.
Yes.
Maidenless just wants to know the win rate of First Company.
Yeah, I will pull that up. First Company is sitting at a 44% win rate at the moment. And then Palitech's like, how many Morlocks? I want to know if people have finally started following my crazy.
Oh, shit. Yep. Okay, so everyone that is watching, I am about to make lists live, which I forget to do every single damn time.
Oh, we're going to get them live to you all, ladies and gentlemen, so you can have a look at the list along with us in a little bit as well.
Every damn time. Someone asks me, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it before the screen so you can all follow along at home, and then I just bloody forget. So.
Hey, at least we announced it to chat so they could watch it.
True.
They could see it as well.
We're doing it live.
So then the next super faction and the last one is Xenos, being a 14.5% of the meta, with 3 Leagues of Votann, 3 Necrons, 3 Tau Empire, and 2 Orcs. A really nice spread of additional Xenos. I really like it.
It is.
Not surprised to see not that many Votann players. But Votann at the moment are at a 57% win rate. So they're above that 55. They're probably going to get hit with the balanced data slate. Might get some points changes back to what they were before the previous one. But yeah, they're probably, we're going to look at one of the Votann lists, but they're doing quite well in the meta at the moment. Oh, 100% Pally. 100% Pally. They ain't selling themselves short here in Australia.
Boom, boom.
So, to look at the faction podium, we have got first place is 9 players, with Astra Militarum making up 11.8% of the meta. In second place, we are tied between Adeptus Astartes and Tyranids, both having 8% to make up 21% of players. 8 players to make up 21% of players. Then in third place is Chaos Demons, with 6 players making up 7.9% of total players in attendance, which means the faction podium makes up 31 of the total players in attendance and 40.8% of the player meta. Now, Dom, what are your thoughts? And I'm just going to pull up your cheeky wagon wheel here for everyone to have a look at as well.
Yeah, I know that Richard's been bothering me about this for quite some time, so here you go. Look at that. Bang. So, my thoughts on this one, I believe out of the main indexes and codexes, the only one that we're missing is Blood Angels.
Yes. And
Death Watch. Yeah. So 2 of the Special Marine ones we're missing.
Yeah. But everything else is in attendance.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, like just having that nice spread of armies, and you've got the guard holding the line, 9 armies. It's just sensational, really cool.
Yeah.
But we got 2 orc players as well. Like that's really great to see. Love seeing orcs on the table. Yeah, it's just a nice spread, and I think it's gonna make for a really interesting tournament.
100%. 100% agree. I think it is a really healthy meta, to be honest, because if we had have seen a massive swing either towards Eldari or Chaos Space Marines, I don't think the event, like, players will walk away maybe not as enjoying themselves as much. Personally, because I know those factions being such a high win rate at the moment, Eldari still being up in 60%, Chaos Space Marines being 59%, because they're winning so consistently. Particularly Eldari, more than Chaos Space Marines, can be quite uninteractive in terms of how they play the game. So being able to just go, okay, cool, I can actually interact with whatever's across the table is awesome, which is really good. So I think it's quite healthy.
I might get a lot of people disagreeing with me on this one, but once again, I've found that with the GW layouts as well. You know, like, crucify me that I'm giving GW some kudos here, but it just, like, the way it's set up, it makes for really interesting play.
Yeah.
You know, like my last game, we didn't engage properly, like, until turn 3. It was just dancing around, and both of us were trying to, like, because of how the terrain was, we're just trying to get that edge over the other person before we fully commit, you know.
Yep.
So, look, I think it's a really big part, and I think it actually works really well.
Yeah, for sure. So, now we're going to jump in to talk some of the army lists. So we're going to look at 6 different lists. We've picked these lists from being notable players that are in attendance, notable factions, and we've made sure to get a spread of players from across the regions that are in attendance. So we're going to just bring those up in a second. And the first list we are looking at is going to be Ben Lang's list, who is running Necrons. So this is one of the new detachments. It's the Canoptic Court. So to walk through what he's running, he is running Imhotep the Stormlord as the Warlord, an Overlord with the Translocator Shroud, with a Res Orb in there. Then a Plasmancer, Royal Warden, and 2 Technomancers, one with the Hyperphasic Fulcrum, the other with the Dimensional Sanctum, and the Plasmancer's got the Meteorodermal Tesla Weave in terms of the enhancements across the army. In terms of battle line units, he has got a unit of 10 Immortals with Tesla Carbines and a unit of 20 Warriors with Gorse Reapers. In terms of other infantry, 2 units of 5 Death Marks, 3 units of 3 Scarabs. Particularly like Scarabs. Scarabs are a good pick, in my personal opinion. I think people underrate Scarabs a little for what they can do. Yep. Then, as we saw last week, and we were talking before stream about this, 2 units of 6 Wraiths with Particle Casters and Vicious Claws. Then a Tomb Sentinel with the Exile Cannon, Prism, Gloom Prism, I should say. Said that poorly. Then the Sentinel Claws. And then 3 Canoptic Doomstalkers. That's a lot of anti-tank firepower in those 3. But that is a spicy list. Now, you're a Necron player as well, Dom. So what are your take on this?
Yeah, well, Ben's one of the local lads, so I talked to Scotty beforehand, and I like breaking it up, having some of the local lads that we talk about as well. Look, you know, just go on the Canoptic Court, a bit vanilla there, but hey ho, we can't all be hypercrypt awesome. So, but you know, like the 2 Technomancers, 3 guesses where they're going. So you can put them with the Rays now, and it just the beef, like that's it. They can do a lot. They hang around like a bad smell now. The 3 Doomstalkers, really like. It's just that sort of consistent firepower.
Yeah.
If you get that fire lane early, they're just sitting there, resin wounds if you don't put enough into them, and it's hitting on 3s, big weapon. Like,
Yeah.
really, really good choices, especially at 135 points as well.
Yes.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, particularly in comparison to a Doomsday Arc that's 200 points. So it depends on whether you're wanting the additional to hit and the additional resiliency of a Doomsday Arc, or you're wanting the what do you call it? The more, because he's taken 3, which puts it at 300. Actually, it's going to be 405 points. So you'd be, taking 2 Doomsday Arcs instead of 3.
Yeah.
So yeah. And just got a question from Palitech in chat. Are you allowing the rules as written for Wraiths to use the move away strat to also do mortal wounds as per their ability? So I believe that's the one, because the ability triggers off a normal move to do the mortal wounds. And so I think it would depend on the wording of the strat and maybe what you guys would think. That might be something you might need to discuss with the TO team and then have that prepared.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you on that one, Palitech. I'll have a bit more of a look at that one. I wasn't tracking it, so there you go. New codex is going to happen. And if anyone, once again, if you got questions like that you're not 100% on and you want answered, there's only one way to get them answered, and that's asking the question. Okay? So if you want stuff answered, you want clarification on anything, just send me a PM. Okay? I love talking 40k.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. So, I agreeing with chat. This list is great. I really like it. It's a lot different from just going, here's 3 bricks of Wraiths, and here's all the Satan as well that we saw.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Ben to actually have run the 3 units of Wraiths, but better he doesn't have 18 of them. So
yes.
No, but like he's a great bloke to verse. Him and young Lily have been running Necrons for a while now, so he knows what he's doing. He made a good show at the last tournament he came to with the Necrons.
Yep.
So yeah, like I reckon he's gonna do well. Big Ben.
Awesome. So next up, and I've got all my tabs have deloaded on Chrome, so they're going to go white for everybody. So just a flashbang warning to everyone going forward when we swap lists. Next up, we are looking at one of the ACT players in attendance. I know this gentleman here is a lovely bloke. He does some phenomenal painting work as well. Mr. Chris Frey, who is running Eldari. So he is running an Orc-Tark Wayleaper as the Warlord with the Fusion Gun, Mandiblasters, and Starglaive. Running an Avatar of Cain. You've got the Farseer with the Phoenix Gem, the Spirit Seer with Fate's Messenger. Then 2 Night Spinners, a unit of 5 Rangers, 2 units of 5 Swooping Hawks, 2 individual Warwalkers, 1 with double Bright Lancers, 1 with double Shuriken Cannons. Then 2 units of 5 Warp Spiders, and then 10 Wraith Guard with the Wraith Cannons. Very typical Eldari list for what you're seeing at the moment. It's got all the stuff. The only thing it doesn't have, which I'm surprised, is Illic Nightspear. Is the only thing that's missing from that list that would be typical.
He's a busy man. He can't be everywhere. But yeah, like you said, it's just got all the tools you need, doesn't it? Extremely maneuverable, built with secondaries in mind as well.
Yeah.
Night Spinners are a pain.
Yes.
And then that big juicy brick of Wraith Guard as well.
Yeah. And the Avatar's nothing to sneeze at either. That's a close combat threat, as well as just being an area denial piece that I've seen used by some of the ACT Eldari players to good effect. So that's definitely one to watch out on. So it's a very mobile list with the Warp Spiders and the Swooping Hawks being able to be picked up, put down, picked up, put down. So, and the Wraith Guard to just basically move middle and go, try and shift me.
Yeah. And once again, like I've versed Chris as well when he was playing his Blood Angels. I think back at one of the Jolt tournaments, and really great guy. We were just talking the whole time. Like I think we got halfway through turn 3, but what I want to see from him, and God, I hope so, because he is a phenomenal painter, but I don't think I've seen one of his armies finished. And if he finished one of those armies, it will 100% be right up there for best painting.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure he's got his. I'm pretty certain he's gotten his Eldar there. When I last saw him, he did. So
yeah, because I think I last talked to him at Capital Clash, and I was looking at it like, oh, so this is sweet, and then there's like a unpainted fire prism or whatever it was in the corner. I'm like, no.
Yeah. All right. So the next list we're going to look at is Mr. Michael Rutkai, who is running the Leagues of Votann. So we've got an Iron Here champion here with a Mass Hammer, the Combi Bolter, and the Weave Field Crest with the Appraising Glare. A Carl that is the Warlord with the Mass Gauntlet, Rampart Crest, and Vulcanite Disintegrator with Grim Demeanor. That's a pretty staple take for the additional Judgment tokens. A single unit of 10 Hearthkin Warriors. They have got the Plasma Pistol on the Thane with a Weave Field Crest. Then 7 Bolters, a Comms Array, a High Las Auto Rifle, a Magna Rail, Medipack, and Panspectral Scanner. Pretty much what you would expect from a unit of Hearthkin Warriors at this stage. Then he has got 4 Sagittars. All of them have got the High Las Beam weapons on them. And so the interesting thing with Sagittars is you can put, Hearthkin Warriors in 2 Sagittars and 4 split them. Which is something that's quite good to do because you want additional units on the table effectively because, you know, much like Marines no longer have combat squads, these guys can't split units as well. So being able to force them that way is always a good strategy. Then he's got a unit of 6 Thunderkin with the Graviton Blast Cannons and a unit of 3 with the Graviton Blast Cannons. Then 3 units of Sithonian Berserks with the Concussion Mauls and the Mole Grenade Launchers, which is really interesting. Really interesting to see the Mole Grenade Launchers being taken. I think this is one of the first times I'm seeing it being taken by Sithonian Berserks. Then a unit of 10 Hearthguard that have got the Plasma Guns, Grenade Launchers, the Teleport Crest, and the Concussion Gauntlets and Concussion Hammer. And then another unit of 10 Hearthguard with Concussion Hammers, Concussion Gauntlets, Vulcanite Disintegrators instead of Plasma, and Grenade Launchers. And then Palitex just saying more men give them access to movement penalties via indirect fire as well. That's actually a really strong strat, particularly in high movement meta that we are experiencing a little bit at the moment. High movement, high toughness is what I would sum up the meta to be a little bit about at the moment. Then he's got 2 units of 3 Hearthkin Pioneers, with High Las Rotary Cannon in each, Magna Rail Auto Cannons, Panspectral Scanner, and Comms Array. And that is his list, which is really solid. And Palitech just dropping a little bit more wisdom for us, saying that the grenade launchers on the Sithonian Berserks it's just an ability. It's not even a stratagem to be able to do that, which is pretty nice.
That's really good. So I'm going to need to take everyone's word for it because I haven't versed Votann in 10th edition. But I've had a mate who's versed all that Hearthkin, and they are beef. Like, yeah, that is some thickness.
Yeah, they are very tough to deal with, particularly with the way that they just reduce damage being put into them. So yeah, you need to dedicate some good firepower into that. But that's 2 bricks of 10. I think they're 30 wounds, so 3 wounds each with -1 damage from memory. So they're really, and I could be wrong on that. Feel free to correct me in the comments in YouTube or in chat. But they're very hard to shift. But if you're gonna try and shift them, 2 wounds each, no -1 wound. Okay, thanks, Pally. Appreciate the correction. But still solid. Yeah.
Still solid.
Very much still solid.
Well, it just shows like Sin Alive as well, saying that Votann's very good at the moment. What were they? 50, 56?
They're up there. They are up there. Yeah. If I go to our friends at StatCheck, they have got Votann at 57%.
Yeah, so maybe I should start playing Votan, bring those numbers down a bit.
He's got the movement on the bikes. He's got movement with the Sagittars as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 Sagittars with Sithonians in them, and 2 Sagittars with the Hearthkin in them as well, potentially, or seeing 3 of them with the Sithonians and 1 of them with the unit of 3 Thunderkin, just to get movement on them. And then Palitech's just given us some Australian focused win rates, which is awesome. Votan have got the best win rate in Australia at the moment, followed by Orcs, CSM, and then AdMech are the top 4 factions, which is awesome to be able to distill that down as just Australian specific at the moment. But yeah, I would say this is a very solid list. It takes a lot of the common takes in Votan without over committing to any one area in particular. So it's not full sending it on running not running the full sending it on the Hearthguard, but also not full sending it with the Berserks or the Thunderkin as well. It kind of goes, this is really good, so I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is really good, I'm going to take a little bit of this. And it just kind of takes more of a well-rounded Votan force rather than being I'm just going to focus on, say, Thunderkin and run 3 units of 6. Or I'm going to focus on the Berserks and run 3 units of 10 kind of thing. So that's what I really like about this list. And who knows, we may even see it on stream. So we're going to move on to the next list. And this is, if it loads, yes, we are looking at Sean Marning's Ultramarines. Now, he is running an Ironstorm Spearhead. He's got a Lieutenant, so Lieutenant with Combi Weapons, so Lone Op, Lieutenant with Master of the Machine War Enhancement, Marnius Calgar is Warlord with a 2 Victrix Honor Guard, a Tech Marine with Target Auger Web Enhancement as well, and then another Tech Marine with the Adept of the Omnissiah. So 3 enhancements there, all Lone Op characters when around vehicles, or Lone Op in general. Really solid. The brick, 2 bricks of 3 aggressors, with Boltstorm Gauntlets and Grenade Launchers. An Inceptor squad, 2 Inceptor squads with Plasma Exterminators, just 3-mans. A unit of 5 Infiltrators with the Helix Gauntlet Comms Array. A Land Raider Redeemer, or 2 Land Raider Redeemers with the Flamestorm Cannons, Hunter Killer Missiles, Multi-Melter Storm Bolters, Assault Cannons. A Repulsor Executioner with the Heavy Laser Destroyer, Onslaught Gatling Cannon, Icarus Rocket Pod, Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, the Defense Array, Twin Icarus Heavy Stubber, and Twin Heavy Bolter. By gosh, that vehicle has got so many guns for 220 points. That's insane.
Yep.
Then 2 units of 5 Scouts with 2 shotguns, 1 missile launcher, 1 sniper rifle, bolt pistol, chainsword on Sergeant. Then a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike with the Storm Fury missiles, Las Talon, and Twin Icarus rocket pods. And that is the list. Oh my goodness, that is just armored hatred.
Yeah. So, I actually got to meet Sean recently. He was one of the army lads. That was at HeroCon. Told him about Exterminatus, and he's on board. So, really good bloke as well. And yes, just pretty beefy. But it's also got the secondaries in mind as well. The Scouts are very good at the moment.
Oh yeah.
With their now I'm here. Repulsor Executioner. Just so many guns. 2 Redeemers, which they've been going pretty good.
Yes.
At the moment. And then you got the Infiltrators, so you get that forward deployment as well, being able to ask questions early.
Yep.
And the 2 Tech Marines, sorry.
Yep.
So the vehicles are going to be covered. You're going to need to kill them outright.
Yep. Basically.
They're also just going to get brought up again. And the Ironstorm, he's running Ironstorm, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and the Ironstorm's just good. Like, I was very surprised when you were saying that that was second to the Vanguard in the stats. That, players better than I are probably using the Vanguard.
Like, I look at this list and I go, it's very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he uses the infiltrators to screen backfield, though, because of their 12-inch, you can't go here.
Yep.
That would be probably a more strategic play because he's pushing forward with all the armor, basically. I think he's probably going to put 1 unit of aggressors in each Land Raider, and then Manius Caligar somewhere, maybe in the Repulsor Executioner if it's got transport capacity, which I think it does. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Tech Marines just kind of roll around solo. Lieutenant with the combi weapon can do as he pleases because he's lone op and can do shenanigans as he always does. Scouts being able to pick up, put down is really strong at the moment. Inceptors just being able to be utility for, I would probably say, deep striking for secondaries, but also I wouldn't be surprised if he just deploys them, uses their movement to get around, get some shots from a little bit of range, because, you know, by having the scouts to do the pick up, put down, it means that he might not need to if he's just going to go sick turn, you know, end of his opponent's turn 1, pick him up, he's got top of the turn, bring him down turn 2 for where he needs them. So it just really depends on what he's looking to do, but he could go either way with the Inceptors. Lots of guns, lots of damage between vehicles being able to do anti-infantry killing, anti-vehicle killing. I think that's the one thing that he's probably a little limited on is the anti-tank firepower in the list. Whilst, yes, he's got the missile launchers in Scouts and the Storm Speeder Thunderstrike to be able to do anti-vehicle, and the Repulsor Executioner is probably the biggest gun that he's got. So if you lose the Repulsor Executioner pretty quickly, then he doesn't have, he's only got the one source of anti-vehicle or anti-monster, so he could probably get overwhelmed quite quickly if you're running monster-heavy lists or vehicle-heavy lists in response as well. So that's just something to bear in mind, but I think it is a really interesting list. I'm keen to see how it goes over the weekend as well. The 5th list we are going to look at, and I need to wait for this to load. Yes, this is Mr. Tim Wallace running Astra Militarum. He is one of the top Astra Militarum players in New South Wales, so it would behoove me to not pick him to look at as an Astra Militarum player.
Considering there's 9 armies as well.
Yeah, very much so. So he's running, in terms of his army list, he's got Gaunt's Ghosts, which already, mad respect to see Gaunt's Ghosts in there. He has got Lord Sol Leontis as the Warlord. Platoon Command Squad with Master Vox, Medipack, Melter Gun, Regimental Standard, Plasma Pistol, Power Fist on the Commander. Regimental Engine Seer, a Tank Commander with in a Demolisher, Lehman Russ, with Hunter Killer Missile, Heavy Stubber, Las Cannon, 2 Multi-Melters, and the Grand Strategist enhancement. So there's a bit of funny stuff being mentioned in chat by both Palitech and Dark Justice because there is two Tim Wallaces in New South Wales, funnily enough. So this is the Tim Wallace who hits the gym. As far as I know, I don't know if the other Tim Wallace hits the gym, but that's the best way I can kind of say that.
Been to Exterminatus a couple of times now, and just a sensational all-round bloke. Tim is. Locals love playing him. He's just he fits in really well with the whole tournament scene. So really good to see him along again, and once again, bringing the might of the Emperor's Guard.
So then we've got the guys are just going on in chat. It is the Wednesday night boys. Tim Wallace
100% doesn't go to the gym.
You guys are hilarious in chat. Love yous. So for his battle line units, he's got 3. And this is true to style. 3 units of Cadian, 3 units of Catachans, with 2 Flamers and a Voxcaster in each unit. Mad respect to running the Catachans instead of going the Cadians or going Death Corps. He's then got 2 Chimeras that have got Heavy Flamer, Heavy Stubber, Hunter Killer Missiles in there as well. Double Heavy Flamer, actually. So that's a lot of auto hits, which the Guard do kind of need, to be fair. With only having a ballistic skill of 4+ at the moment, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
Then he's got a Basilisk, two Lehman Russ Exterminators. With the Exterminator autocannons, both have got double heavy bolters, las cannons, heavy stubbers, hunter-killer missiles. Then a Manticore, of course, pretty stable take at the moment, with the Storm Eagle rockets, hunter-killer missile, heavy bolters. Then he's got a Rogel Dawn with the Pulverizer Cannon, the Oppressor Cannon, 2 multi-melters, 2 melter guns, heavy stubber and coaxial autocannon. So Rogel Dawns can do a lot of damage. I've seen 1, maybe 2 in lists, so this is probably a really good take. He's got a unit of 3 Scout Sentinels with hunter-killer missiles, autocannons, and Sentinel chainswords. Chainsaws, not chainswords. Chainsaws. And then a unit of 5 Tempestor Scions with Plasma Pistol Power Fist on the Tempestor. Melter Gun, Plasma Gun, 2 Hotshot Las Guns. That's the list. I like it.
I do too. Like, for those of you who know me, they know that I've got a special spot for the Guard in my heart. And I've versed a list like this not too long ago. There's a lot of, like, for an index army as well, there's a lot of overlapping rules that work here. Like, particularly with the orders, Lord Sol... Jeez, balls just dropped. Lord Solar Leontis, and then particularly from the Exterminators. Can't remember exactly what they do. But, and, like, the Sentinels, like, it with them being able to look at you and you get more, it all builds up into one really big round of shooting. So, and then on top of that, he's got the movement, like the Gaunt's Ghost can do the now I'm here, now I'm here. Then we got the units of Tempestus as well that can deep strike in, and their itty bitty footprint as well. Yeah, and like you were saying before, he's been playing Guard well since I've known him. Knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's going to be have a really good showing in Exterminatus.
So just a few comments from Marcus Romius in chat. So Catachans are actually meta now for the Scout move for doing secondaries and screening. That is a good pickup, as well as the Exterminators do extra AP for everything else that shoots after the Exterminators shoot. So...
And look, Darren, you know my Lord Solar is always going to be Macarius. None of this Leontis stuff.
Yep. Yeah, really good list. I reckon Timmy will do well. I reckon he'll do well at this event.
I do too, yeah.
For sure. And then last but not least, we are going to look at Mr. Todd Saxon, one of the Warga locals who is running Chaos Knights.
Look, guys, Todd absolutely begged and pleaded for me to talk about his list. He thinks he's onto a winner here. He completely backs himself, so...
He's on a steamer. All right, so he's got a Wardog Stalker as the Warlord with the Avenger Chain Cannon, Havoc Launcher, Slaughter Claw with the... it also has Battle Full sack in chat. So he's got 2 of the Wardog Stalkers that have got Battle Line as well, yes. Then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Wardog Executioners with the autocannons. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Carnivores with the multi-launchers, the Reaper, Chain Talons, and the Slaughter Claws. Then a Great Unclean One as the allied unit.
He loves this Great Unclean One. Loves it.
The good old Ducko, as we quote call it.
He, like, the list does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? He's got his shooting lot. He's got his Carnivores, which are just... And they're so good for what they do now. I think they're 140 points. Got the stratagem to move through terrain so you can surprise. Now I'm here.
Yes.
And the Great Unclean One, like, that takes some work to move off objectives. If that fat boy rolls his way onto an objective, it's going to take a bit of effort to get him off, especially with, what is it, like 10 war dogs running around as well.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 12.
12 war dogs running, well, even worse. Like,
Yeah,
you really, against this list, like, jokes aside, like picking on poor old Todd, jokes aside, you're with this list, you're really going to need to think about your target priority and where you're putting it, and think a turn ahead. Which war dogs do I need to kill to not get the bad touch next turn? And how much of a priority is that Great Unclean one right now?
Yes, 100%. 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 3 carnivores go either flank. We see the Great Unclean one push center to free up the ability for then 2 executioners on either flank as well. And then the stalkers just go wherever they please and wherever they're going to be useful. And then having 12... actually, no. So the executioners don't have the Havoc launchers. So he's got 8 Havoc launchers in the list as well. So that's going to be a lot of indirect anti-infantry firepower, which is going to be very helpful into certain matchups. But at the same time as well, it's going to be, maybe not having the indirect on the executioners. I don't know. I probably would have gone the indirect on the executioners as well, just to get, 12 D6, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage shots to just kind of push through wounds on some stuff. But that's just my personal take, which I know I'm happy.
There you go, Todd. You heard it here first. You blew it. And Darren in the chat, get some gumption, Darren.
Didn't have the bits of Havocs. Fair enough there.
As far as excuses go, it's not a bad one. Actually, I think I was meant to have a look and actually give him some Havoc, so that one might be actually on me.
And Mindless, unfortunately not. We do try to keep these a bit shorter in terms of time limit, and we are just hitting our kind of top end of where we do like to have these roll out, but happy to potentially do it in the future if you do play at a future event that we do look at covering. And Full Stack's like, yep, let me down, Noodle.
That one's on me. I'm not sorry though.
But yeah, so before we kind of jump into the end of the session, I want to thank everyone who has joined us on Twitch. Really appreciate you guys jumping in and viewing the tournament preview for this one. It is a couple of weeks ahead, but we have all the stuff prepped for what we needed. Listen now live as well. But Dom, before we wrap up, I want to thank you for joining us. And do you have any shout outs you'd like to do before we end the stream?
Yes, so thanks once again for having me, Scotty. Looking forward to seeing everyone as well. Going to be a really good time. Don't forget to keep an eye out on Boxing Day on our main pages, the Wagga War Game Society and Exterminatus and Australialis, and the Cards in Combat as well, Wagga Wagga, for the charity pre-ticket sales pre-tickets going on sale. Want to say a big shout out to my Exterminatus committee team. They've been putting up with a lot from me, being grumpy, trying to quit smoking at the moment, and the last 6 months have just been absolutely so stacked for me. Moving house, my 6-month-old son, like new job, finishing study, organising Exterminatus. It's a lot, and without these lads like Adrian, Richard, Todd, Keith and Andrew, without those lads we don't have a tournament. Or you have a tournament and it's nowhere near as good, and you got me that just looks like a husk. So big shout out to those lads. Once again, all the players coming. It's going to be a good time. To Cards in Combat as well, Wagga Wagga, so for providing the prize support, looking after us. One to mention for that as well, which I will mention at the tournament, is for the guys from out of town that win prizes, they're going to stay open, and it is actually from the RSL heading onto the highway. It's actually along that route. So after the tournament, you'll be able to go in and spend your goodies as well on the way back home. Okay. To you, Scotty. Thank you once again for having us, looking after us, coming down to stream.
Yeah, no
as
worries
well.
at all.
And
It's gonna be good.
and to the RSL club as well.
Yeah.
The like they've just been messaging me out of the blue. Like I haven't been chasing them up, making sure everything's good to go, making sure the doors are open for the team at 8 o'clock, making sure we're good to set up on Friday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Like they've just been great.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational. And to defensemen Shed Wagga Wagga, led by Frosty. They're doing the trophies for us again. And the sensational work they do. And also my wife for putting up with me and getting all this ready the last couple of days. Last couple of months. But I also put up with her. It's a two-way street, that one.
Yeah, it is. I know that feeling all too well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. If you'll just give me a couple of minutes to just spiel on about the ATWN. If you've jumped here for the first time, we are the Australia's Tabletop Wargame Network. We do tournament coverage across the Australian East and Seaboard, covering tournaments, doing tournament previews like this and tournament live streaming. So if you aren't playing at the events, feel free to drop a follow on the channel. If you've dropped by for this one, and you are playing at the event, but you want to catch the events coming up in the future, we will be covering Adelaide Uprising a couple of weeks after Exterminatus. And so if you're not attending Uprising, you want to watch 3 days of good quality Warhammer 40k from one of Australia's largest events. Make sure you drop a follow on the channel, and so you're able to be notified as to when we do have that stream starting up for them. We'll be putting all the games up on YouTube as well after the event. So make sure you're following us on YouTube with us. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video on YouTube as well. But thanks to everyone who has joined us. It's going to be an awesome event. I'm looking forward to Exterminatus as always. It's probably one of my favorite events of the year. I'll be perfectly honest. Out of all the events that I cover, I find that Exterminatus is the one that I literally will leave and I'm so jazzed up on energy. Like I don't walk away and I just kind of slump and I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm like, no, that was so much fun. That was awesome. Such a great weekend. So, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it from us here on the Australia's Tabletop Wargaming Network. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I want to wish everyone as well a Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a safe and happy New Year. If you are at Exterminatus, I hope to catch you there. Feel free to come and say good day during lunch on either day to myself, or if you're there the Friday night beforehand helping set up. Happy to see you there as well. But ladies and gentlemen, from us here, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later, everyone.